What is up, YouTube? Welcome along to another Let's Play with Dino on Farming Simulator 17. So, we've got both of our main fields planted now. We have the third field, field 10, completely ploughed. So we kind of have a boring day today. I think pretty much all of today is going to be spent just waiting for the crops to grow. They're in their first stage of growth, but you know, it's going to take the rest of the day easily. That's that hooked up. So I thought I'd not leave you out of the process entirely. I want you to feel like you're part of this farm. As you can see there, it's all growing well. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a time-lapse video again for you, so that you can see what we're doing down here in field 10, and hopefully you'll be able to see the benefits. We've just finished ploughing this field, and it was a nightmare. The amount of times that we've had to go and help out the worker because it just can't cope with this shape of the field. These curves, I mean, all the way up here, all this section you can see that's ploughed a different way, I've had to plough in again because it was just had so much mist. So the way I like to do them is I look at the map and see where on this edge is kind of like the furthest that we could go, and in reality I suppose we could go all the way out to there. That's not too bad. But then I bring up the GPS mod so that we can fine-tune it by clicking on the button with the radar dish. It will now lock onto the course. We can now lower our implement and just drive forward. It's as simple as that. So as you can see, this is costing us a lot of space. We could step this quite easily. We push the 90-degree button and bring it back, but in truth we don't really need this space here. I'm actually toying with the idea of using this for other things, this field. I'm actually toying with this being the field that we turn into our static area. As soon as we can afford them, I think we're going to go for some. There you go, and you can see that's it. We're at the end. So I'll then back up over this section just because we're going to be going over it anyway. And then by turning our GPS through 90 degrees and going forward, and then if we just course shift it a little bit, you can see where it's going to go. So we'll lock in at that. I'm happy with that, and then we'll just run down and clear this edge off. We're still going to get a reasonable amount of crops from this field even after we've butchered it. It's very much for my peace of mind more than any other reason, and it'll just make the ploughing a lot easier. Later game we may even wander off and there we go, that's it, and find ourselves a better plough. Right, so this is going to be tricky to do from outside. So let's switch it through 90 again. As you can see, we really are... Let's... it's because it thinks we're going backwards. There you go. Right. Let's bring that back down to the floor level. Yeah, I think we can afford to actually come all the way over here. No, we can come over another one. Trees are everywhere in the way. So we lock on again. We're still down. Let's just bring the tractor round this way a minute. Or the camera, I should say. So we'll come forward. But then we're going to go backwards. Just to neaten up that edge. There you go, see? So, guys, yeah, this is how I turn my fields more square. I do prefer it that they're all odd shaped, etc. I think it adds to the realism of it. And if you're keen on doing every single bit of work yourself, it's not that much of an issue. If you're going to rely on workers to do some of the work whilst you're off doing something else, it can be an absolute pain in the tuckers. Because you have to keep coming back, checking on what it's done, and then go over what it's done if what it's done's not good enough. So there we go. We're going to do that. This will be the last bit that I make you sit and listen to me talk through. There we go. So we've locked it on again. We'll back up so we're straight. There we go. Beautiful. So, like I said in a previous video, from here on, the rest of it's kind of colour by numbers. Once you've got that central square field, everything outside of it, you just got to colour in. You've just got to... well, that's not true. You don't have to. You can leave it. But if you're using a bigger seeder, you could find that section getting seeded by accident by your worker not doing... not realising that he's not supposed to do that section. So you can see there just how much of that field we've actually deleted. Oh, that was a little annoying. Let's just tidy that up. Yep, there we go. That's tidied. So all of that section there, and over there. It's crazy. So I'll now time lapse the rest of this for you. So, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of time lapse. As you can see, we're fast forwarding through the day. We just had a quick look, as you will have seen. I forgot to turn my mic back on, but hey ho. As you will have seen, we just double checked and we've got a nice square field now. So yep, we're all good to go. We're going to go drop this back at the... Oh, we've managed to dig in on something there that, to be honest, I couldn't see. And yeah, we're fast forwarding through the day now, so that we can... Oh dear. Take your hands off the wheel for a second, eh? Take your hands off the wheel. So we're going to just drop this back, and we're fast forwarding through the day. Like I say, there's not a lot happening today except waiting for things to grow. But what we're going to do is we'll drop that bad boy off there and pull that out so we can see it. Let's have a little look at the animals. So they're actually fairly clean, fairly productive. In the night we did sell what milk we had. Let me just go over to the finances page. So you can see Saturday, which was yesterday, we spent 3,800 on vehicle running costs, 400 on animal upkeep. We sold yesterday we sold 1,300. Today we actually have sold 3,700. So it's almost paying for our vehicle running costs. Almost. I think that will be better today, but time will tell. So we're going to switch to our other tractor, and we're going to head down and start putting some grass into silage. We've got plenty for ourselves. What field am I actually on? Okay, let's turn around. I actually wanted to go that way. Oh, I got completely lost then as to where I was. Yeah, we've got plenty of grass for ourselves. Ideally, I would like to turn this into bales, because selling the bales, it's so much easier. The way that we will possibly deal with the situation for selling the silage is using the... Have we got... No, we're good. We've got nothing attached. There we go. Attach that. Attach that. Turn around and off we go. So we'll start up the mower. We'll start that and lower it. And then we'll start that one. So there you go, we're off and cutting. So if you remember the last time we went and did some grass cutting, it doesn't actually take a massive amount to fill up our loading wagon. So if we do a fair bit of grass cutting and then go and pick up the loading wagon using our other tractor, what we can do is we can actually cut a bit, load some, and then take it over, and then we can come back, cut some more, load it up, take it away. It's really nice if you can get a few people, a few friends to come along and play with you. Because it just means that jobs like this, they become a bit easier. You can have a bit of a chat, a bit of a laugh as you're going along. There we go. slowly loop all the way round on this cut. And we're going to try and tie in with that grass that's already down on the floor. By windrowing it again, what will happen is we will lose some of that grass. But because it's really kind of free grass, I'm not too worried. So this turn is going to be quite sharp. It's not a great deal I could do about that. Well, there is. I could have turned off and moved and all kinds of things. But in the reality of things, I'm not going to be slowing down to cut this perfect. There we go, trying to get a full cut of the grass as we go. So, who remembers where the loading trailer's actually full of grass already, isn't it? We left it full. That's right, I remember now. Okay, so yeah, the grass is currently down at the cows. Interesting. The other way of making silage is to utilise the crops, and I think it's the X1100, which is a chopper. Basically, it chops the crop or the straw or whatever you want into silage or into chaff, which you can then load into your silos and will turn it into silage for you. So because we're advancing the time, this could actually get quite annoyingly dark in a moment. What we'll do, we'll just finish this cut. I'll tell you what, we're going to tie that into that. There we go. So turn that one off, turn that one off, turn that one off. We're then going to move it out the way, ready to start the next cut. Let's go grab our loading wagon. Oh, let me put those bales there. As you can see, as we've advanced the time a fair bit, our cows would like to be tidied up. We can do that in a moment though, we can do that in the morning probably. So we'll back this up and just fill that up a little bit. So that's now full for 6 days. You know, it really is a small amount of grass that we need in there. So off we go. The other way that we could actually sell the silage once we've produced it is to utilise a front loader. The front loader, I think, holds something like 10,000 litres. It's articulated, so it makes it a bit of a pain to drive and to steer, and the bucket's not the greatest for being accurate to sell the crop, but yeah, it's definitely an idea. There are some mods out there that make selling the silage easier. On this map it's a bit of a pain because we have the raised silage sell point. So you really have to use either a conveyor belt system or a front loader. You can't just load it into a trailer and then tip the trailer into where you want it to go. But we can get around that with mods a couple of different ways. There is a machine that will blow it, attaches to the front of the trailer, and you can then just blow the straw or the chaff or the whatever you're picking up, even wood chips, straight into a trailer behind you, or if someone's next to you with a trailer, it will actually lock onto that and you can utilize it that way. So we'll just tip this grass out as we go down this silo. We don't need to make it pretty. We're going to be back down here in a moment, going over the darn thing so that we can flatten it out anyway. You can see there on the right that the crop is really growing well for us at the moment. We do need to fertilise that before we harvest it one last time. Because it's barley, it's kind of an optional on that one. We're going to get a large yield anyway. For the sake of some fertiliser though, I always think you're best off to just get every last bit that you can out of the field. You know, you've already paid for the seed, you've already fertilised it twice. You might as well put another, 4,000-5,000 into getting even more yield back. A third of that field is going to yield us an extra 10,000 maybe. So for the sake of your worker and everything else, I think you may as well just get on with it and get it done. So here we are. We turn it on and lower it down. And if you remember, it's as easy in cab to collect your grass. Because you've got a nice windrow to follow, you can just aim that bonnet of the tractor where you want to go, and then off you go. I'm not sure how well it will have picked up on that loop there. It's quite tight down there. We can have a look when we come around and do the next one. You can see we've missed a little bit of grass in the middle of these two windrows. You would maybe look at doing this a little bit better, but for us it's kind of something to do whilst we're waiting for crops to grow. So I'm going to hit the fast forward button again, and we can speed this up till we get to daytime again. I'm going to keep you with me because I think it's good for you guys to see how much work it takes to keep the farm running. And there's always something to do. There's always something to do. You know, from cutting the grass to cleaning the cows. You know, there's always something going on. In fact, guys and girls, I think what we're going to do is, yeah, look at that. That loop was enough to fill our tractor. So we'll quickly go and tip that down with the other lot. Now, hopefully, what's the price been doing? The price of canola is coming back down on us again. That's so annoying. Have they planted canola then? Is that what's happened? And they have... No, we've got sunflowers and barley. So they're following us. So we may get a really bad price for our barley. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think the price of the canola ever really got up high enough for us to sell it. There you go. We got 1700 milk. And there's all of our upkeeps there. Okay, so we're still losing more money per day than we're earning from the milk. But it's close. I think, considering we only have 10 cows, we're doing okay. So if we have 100, that would be, what, 30,000, 37,000? So we're never going to get rich waiting for our cows with such a small herd. So we need to, every time we sell crop now, to increase the size of our herd. Now that in turn will increase the size of the amount of grass and silage and everything else, all of that other good stuff that the cows need. So we'll just get ourselves in here, start tipping, and again just drive along, nice steady speed. There we go. That's another one done. Come on, morning, hurry up, hurry up. There we go, looks like our fields are ready to harvest. So as soon as it's daylight... Oh, I've missed the track there. So as soon as it's daylight, we're going to stop the fast time. About 6 o'clock it's light enough that you don't need lighting to work. Oh, brilliant. We've got a fog rolled in. So we're going to keep rolling the fast time till 8 o'clock now, which is when the fog should have burned off by 8 o'clock. So drop that pickup activated. And where is it? There it is. So hopefully this will get us another full loading wagon, and then we're going to leave it at that for the moment. We may come back down here and cut some more grass after the harvest. So we're not going to silo or blanket the silo to start fermentation to turn this into silage. We're going to try and fill that silo up. I think that's is a worthy goal. It's going to take quite a while to actually sell it, because the silo or the silage sell point can only accept. There we go. Right, slow that all the way back down now. So we'll just continue and pick up the rest of this grass, and then we'll begin the Because we need to actually fertilise before we get too crazy and carried away. Are we gonna fill up? No. Oh. Jackknifed the heck out of that. We'll actually go round and pick that section there up. Okay, there we go. Eesh. Did I? No, I got it all. So we're just going to have a quick little drive up the top here. Just make sure that we've picked up all of the grass that has been cut so far. No, there's a little bit left there from before. Not too much though, not too much. But I have decided we're going to leave the loading wagon here. We're not going to bother going and tipping this small amount in there. We've still got a quarter of the load capacity that we could load on that. So we'll drop the loading trailer there. We can come find it and pick that up in a moment. Okay. Now the question is where did we leave the seeder? I can see an implement over there on the mini-map in field 11. So we're going to just drive over there and have a little look, see if that is the one we want. I don't think it will be because of where it is, but you never know with me. No, that's the seeder. Okay. Okey-dokey. Now, I've just thought of a problem. Right, yep. We're going to go grab this trailer, which is full of canola. We hadn't tipped it because we was hoping the price was going to get better. Now, the other problem is that the harvester is also got some canola in it. So I think what we need to do is we need to run this back and put it into storage. We'll then come back to the harvester, empty the harvester, and then we need to get fertilizer. That's the word. Well done, Dean. Yeah, we need to then get the fertilizer going, and then we can send the harvester going straight away and just begin the harvest. We'll possibly end up selling the bit of canola that's in the harvester. It's only, I think, about 4,000 litres, but we can get that sold. And it'll help pay for some of the deficit that we currently have. I'm not sure it's going to clear the deficit that we currently have, but it will go some way towards it. So we'll get this this load dumped. So that's going to put us up at quite a bit there. So we can then use our filters to find the implement we want. It will then tell us it's actually in field 11. That's brilliant. That's where the harvester is as well. So we've now got 124,000 litres of canola in storage. Now if we can get that 1400 mark, that's going to put us in really good stead. just switch back to the other view. Now once we get more cows, we're in for a good time, because we can actually start using their manure and their liquid manure. Do I say manure right? I have no idea. We can actually have our worker use that to fertilise our fields with, but you need to have a lot of cows before that is possible. Now when you make silage down at the bioplant, a proportion of what you sell also becomes available as liquid manure. So not only do you get the money from selling it, you also get some liquid manure as well. So it's kind of win-win if you do sell your silage down here at the, I think it's called the BGA plant. So, yeah, my driving is atrocious. It is all over the road. It looks like I'm using a mobile phone while I'm going along. I'm not, I promise you. I have got both hands on the controller. It's just that I suck at driving with this controller. Having said that, I suck even more if I try to use the keys. So you can see the barley there, completely all grown. As you see, I left the harvester so that we could harvest, empty it. It was all planned. It just never quite worked out for us. So we've dropped that there. We're going to come and pick this fertiliser up. It's got a little bit in there, but not a great deal. Oh. Come on. There we go. So 1,000 litres. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to fertilise this field. But it should give us enough to begin. So we're going to send him off fertilising. We're going to then come and pick our other tractor up. We're going to have him drop the back, pull forward, drop the front, and then off we go. So by the time we get back to the field, our fertiliser is going to be heading off down the field. We can then set our harvester going. The harvester will cover so much less ground than the fertiliser. You really can just send him going and then send the harvester going. He's fertilising 24 metres at a time, and our harvester is, I think, something like 8 metres. So there we go. We'll hook the tractor up, jump into the harvester, and we'll go set the harvester to work. Now, everything in this game has a vehicle weight. And if you remember last time we made silage, it was a bit of a nightmare. The tractor took forever. Okay, we might actually be okay. That is doing okay at it's making its fertiliser last. Okay, that's that turned around a bit. There we go. So what we've got there, 5,000 litres. I think the price at the moment. So yeah, we're not. If we can get £5,000 for what's in this trailer, I'm going to be quite happy. But it's not going to be enough to do what we would like it to do, which is clear our debt. So every time I come in, I'm actually going to drive over the silage just because it will give us some compactation. So we're at 16% after driving over that. Obviously we've driven over it once before already, because when you're tipping you're driving over it, so you're compressing what you're driving over. So yeah, there we go, £5,000, £5,180 ish. Okay, that's not great. So we're gonna just run this guy back to the field. Having a white tractor was a really good idea back when it was clean. It's becoming very grey now. So we're going to park this just down the end here. We're going to try and guess roughly where the pipe will be. How are we getting on with this here? I don't know, is that over half? Oh, it's so difficult to say for certain. I may have to turn on that the worker buys the fertiliser, just so we can get this field finished. When we're over at the other field, we can always just go and load up the seed, the fertiliser at the farm and put it on account. Yeah, I'm really not happy that we're that overdrawn. I like to be able to go buy pallets of fertiliser to fill the fertilisers and the seeders and stuff. We will be selling this barley pretty much as it comes off. The price is not looking great. 622 and is going down. But yeah, we need that money. Maybe we'll only sell this field. You know, maybe we will sell this field to put some money back in the bank, and then we'll put the other field into storage. We'll have to see how that goes. So we're coming down to the second pass, and we've nearly got 10,000 litres. That means for each round, so down and back, we should receive nearly 6,000. So yeah, by the time we've finished harvesting this field, we will have enough money to be back in the black, out the red, and life is all good. But I'm really intrigued. I can't see exactly where this guy is. Oh, you can just about see there, very just about. I think we're going to be okay. I think it's going to get this done. Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Because it should now use less fertiliser. We're going to quickly fire him, and then we'll rehire him, because we don't need him to drive down that other edge. Oh, what's going to run out first, the field or the fertiliser? It's going to be close. Okay, so I think the yep, it has. We actually positioned that well enough. Oh no, our fertilizer's empty. So yeah, we positioned that well enough that the harvester actually emptied his tank into the trailer when he got back. So we'll just position him again, and then we'll come over here, and yeah, we failed by a long shot. So we've fired the worker. We'll now quickly just go into the settings, and we'll tell him he's allowed to buy. So we'll now hire him again, and he'll just finish this little bit of a field off for us. As you can see, the cost has rocketed. That's like £2 per second. So that's why you really don't want to harvest your fields or fertilise your fields this way. So as soon as this guy stops, we're going to cancel and yeah, there we go. He's completed his task. So we're now just going to go back into settings and turn that back off. Right, we can now drive this one back over to our farm and load up. And that's why I positioned the other tractor the way I did, because the plan was to take this guy. There we go, shut the cover on the fertiliser spreader. Yeah, the plan was always to take this guy back over to the farm to fill him up and start fertilising the other field. The cost of fertiliser is actually making me consider planting a cover crop. Oh dear, what am I doing? Just looking out the window at traffic that I knew wasn't there, and yeah, it's a good job we've got these all-terrain tyres. Okay, so rather than making you guys sit through any more time-lapse or any more of this video, I'm going to get this guy fertilising this other field, I think. Once we've done that, I think we're going to call the video once we've set him going. Watching tractors just go backwards and forwards and me having to think of things to tell you. The strain is just too much folks. Yeah, I'm not sure about this cover crop. You know, I think it could be a really nice way of reducing the amount of fertiliser that we use, which could be good once we're using the free fertiliser. You know, if we're only having to use that once, that would definitely be good. Because it would mean that our fertiliser, our manure would go a lot further. So, the downside is you have to wait for it to grow before it will yield any benefit to ploughing it back in and under. I'm also not certain if it stacks the bonus when you then seed it. Time will tell. In fact, time will tell on number 10. I think we'll hold off making that decision. So how much was that? Yeah, look at the fertiliser cost, guys. To fill that from empty cost me £6,000. Yeeps. Oh, come on. So if we compared that to like the 3,000-4,000 that it would cost us were we to buy the pallets of stuff, you know, it's a no-brainer. Okay, how are we looking? Yep, we're good to go there. So we'll hit the guy to get going. We succeeded again in doing our tippy trick. So I'm going to call the video there, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that share button. Get your friends talking about this channel. Let's get this community really growing. And if you've not done so already, subscribe, obviously, for more regular video updates. Okay, guys, girls, take care. Be good. Bye-bye.